So I'm guessing after Legacies, he's on Indeed, Glassdoor. He's on one of those job sites. I don't know. What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be continuing on the Where Are They Now series, and we're going to be discussing the Vampire Diaries cast. Now, I keep in touch pretty much with most of the main cast of the Vampire Diaries, so I always see on my Instagram or Twitter what they're doing now in the industry, what they're doing in their own time. So we're going to be discussing where they are now following the show. There are a few members of the cast that I don't really indulge in. There's a couple of them that were kind of, exposed a couple years ago that I just don't feel the need, to follow. But, just for this video, just for you guys, I, took a step into their lives. Only for y'all. Y'all should put two and two together and know which ones I'm talking about. Anyways, before we get into the video, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, I'll leave my playlist with all my commentary videos and my ranking characters playlist down below. And you guys can check those out after the video. Now, if you've also seen my last Where Are They Now video, you guys know I put a little spin on it. And we ranked them in categories on whether they're thriving after the show or they're barely surviving. Alright, the first cast member we're going to be talking about is Paul Wesley, aka Stefan. Now, after the show, I know Paul went on to direct and stuff. These days, I see mainly on his social platforms that he's mainly focusing on his brand that he has with Ian called Brothers Bourbon. So they have their own brand. They have this tour going on where they do stops. I think a couple days ago, I saw some people, they were like, oh my God, is this Paul? They saw him, he went to this bar, y'all. So they got their own little brand going on of bourbon. I like that. I like that they took that from the show, something from the show that they shared and turned it into a whole business, if you will. But I feel like personally the most enjoyable thing about his career now after the show is this whole close friends thing he has on Instagram. If you guys don't know Paul, he has his own close friends. On Instagram, you have your main Instagram story. He has a close friends story, and I don't know how it goes because I don't subscribe, but I do see sometimes those videos are shared on other platforms. And guys, that he is absolutely hilarious. You wouldn't, if no one knows Paul, get on his close friends on Instagram. He is hilarious. Some of the questions y'all be asking him are hilarious, guys.
Who's my bias and BT? What are you talking about?
I feel like that's his, that's the most enjoyable thing about his career after the show. Obviously, it's just a little thing for the fans. So the most prominent thing about him after Vampire Diaries is his little business with Ian. But I don't know. I feel like the close friends thing, he should turn that into a little podcast. He needs to make his own podcast. Get off of Instagram. If you're watching this, Paul, get off Instagram. Start a podcast. Speaking of Ian, he also had a similar past following the show. He did star in a couple small films, and I think he had one on the CW called V-Wars. I don't know if a lot of people know about that show, but it was a thing. It was a thing on CW. It wasn't really, too big, too large scale, too popular. But obviously he was in other small projects, but I definitely think V-Wars was the most popular of Ian's roles following the show that a lot of people of the fan base saw him in. Now again, like Paul, he does have a close friends, but I feel like Paul's close friends is better than Ian's. Ian, I don't feel like he'd even be on it like that. Am I wrong? I don't know, because I don't subscribe to either of them, but both of them are on there. And a lot of people say the content is really, really fun and really funny. So Paul and Ian are in the thriving category. Coming up next is Matt Davis, aka Alaric. Now, this is one of the ones I don't really keep up with him. I don't follow him on anything. I don't even think he has an Instagram. I was trying to find him on there, and nothing was coming up. It was not found. So I'm guessing after Legacies, he's on Indeed, LinkedIn, Glassdoor. He's on one of those job sites. I don't know, but I have no clue if he's still acting, if he's directing. I have no idea, and I really don't care to. So we're gonna throw Matt Davis in the barely surviving category. I don't see him in any large scale industry projects. After they canceled Legacies, it's he just faded into obscurity. I don't know what he's doing with his life, but for those of you who are fans of him, if he even has fans, let me know in the comments what he's doing these days, because I could not find any info. I went on Instagram, I couldn't find him. I was like, okay, whatever. I'm not about to Google this man. Speaking of barely surviving, the next cast member is Zach, aka Matt Donovan's actor. Now, he is probably in the same boat. I don't really see him in any huge huge industry projects, or you know, he's been in a few small roles, but it's nothing like really big or large wide scale that I've seen him in. Now, the most recent thing I saw on his Instagram was that he was in an accident. I don't want to sound mean, so thoughts and prayers. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it was during shooting or something, but I just see on his page, one of the most recent posts is that he's just in the hospital, and he's like, thank you guys so much for the love, I'm okay. And I read through the comments and they said that he got into an accident. So prayers up for Zach, guys. I don't know, but he's in the barely surviving category. Oh my god, I don't mean that literally. Coming up next is Candice. Now, I do see, like, after the show, you know, she did go on to start a family, so she's kind of laid low for a while. But I checked on her page that she has her own podcast. I think it's called Super Bloom. So she's in the podcast industry. She didn't get Paul in there because his close friends, that close friend story, guys, is cinema. It's comedy. Like, he needs to start a podcast. Nonetheless, Candice does have her own podcast. So she is, you know, she's still doing her thing. And I saw that she started her own YouTube channel, guys. It's very recent. I saw on her page. So she's still doing her thing, but I feel like for her, mostly it's been after the show. Obviously, she started a family. She has kids. Like, yes. Like, I feel like her and Ian are some of the only cast members like that went on to like have a family, obviously among others, but like, so I would put Candice in the thriving category. Coming up next is Nina Dobrev, aka Elena / Catherine / all the other doppelgangers. Now, Nina, I will say, after the show, she did find herself in a lot of movies. I know she was in one with Vin Diesel. It's called XXX, I think. And then she was in another movie called Love Hard. She's been like working, like she has been trying to stay employed, and I applaud her for that, because I feel like a lot of actors and actresses, after their main like show that gives them like their big break, after that show ends, they kind of just go like, they kind of fade away. But Nina said, child, I'm keeping my career alive, y'all. I am staying alive. And she has been in quite a bit of some Netflix movies and like regular, you know, movies here and there. Like, she's been keeping busy with herself. I did a little bit more digging though and went on her Instagram, and she also is in the wine industry. She has her own brand. Nina is in the industry still, and she's doing her own thing. So naturally, she's in the thriving category. That's all it is, y'all. If you're still out there employed and you're doing your own thing, you're thriving. But if you on Indeed, you on Glassdoor, and nobody ain't heard for you in 2 years, you gonna be barely surviving. All right, coming up next is Steven, aka Jeremy's actor. After Vampire Diaries ended, he did, you know, have a little cameo on Legacy, so that would definitely be his first thing after the main show, after TVD. Afterwards, if that counts. So I guess I'll throw Legacies on there afterwards. And then after Legacies, I do believe he was in a few short films, a few small roles, and now I see on his Instagram he mainly does a lot of like humanitarian work. He's saving the kids, y'all. He's putting in his work. Unlike Matt Davis, he's actually doing something productive after his like main time as a member of the Vampire Diaries cast. He is thriving. If you saving the world, you helping the kids, you're thriving, honey. So Steven, as much as I didn't like Jeremy's character, you're in the thriving category. Speaking of characters that I didn't like, coming up next is Tyler. Oh wait, what's his name? What is his name? What's Tyler's actor's real name? Hold on, y'all. Okay, his name is Michael Trevino. So coming up next is Michael Trevino, aka Tyler Lockwood. Now, following Vampire Diaries, again, similar to Steven, Jeremy's actor, they starred in the spinoff, so he was in originals, where he just showed up in that one episode to literally just try to kill Haley and her baby. But now I see that he is a director, so he's still in the industry, he's still making films, and I believe his most recent like film that he directed, I think it was on the CW. So he's keeping it close. So even though I didn't like his character on the show, he's doing very well for himself after the show. So Michael is in the thriving category. It's like a weird thing that a lot of the characters that I just did not like have gone on to like do things that are like likable. All right, and last but not least of the Vampire Diaries main cast is Kat Graham, aka Bonnie. Now Miss Cat, don't sleep on Miss Cat. She is an actress, singer, dancer, producer. So she has a lot of things that she's still involved in. I think her most notable film after the show was where she starred as Jada Pinkett in the Tupac biopic. Like, sis is staying relevant. Sis is in the industry. She is booked and busy. But she's also played in a lot of other movies. She was in Collide. She was in Heat Wave. She was in The Night Before Christmas. She's also in a lot of brand ambassador things where she's going to Fashion Week and all of that. Like, sis is in the modeling, acting, singing, everything career. And before I forget to mention, Miss Cat was on the cover of Rolling Stone. Like, come on, y'all. Like, that is not something everyone gets to do. And she looked stunning. She's just like a quadruple threat, y'all. She's an actress, singer, producer, model. She can do it all, and she's still doing it all. And I just feel so proud for her, because I feel like of the cast, she was the one that a lot of people didn't expect to go far after the show. And I bet a lot of people working on the show, i.e. the writers, didn't expect her to do much after the show either, even though they would play in her face and act like they had like a lot of faith in her. I just feel like she's proved so many people wrong. I like how she shares her story after the show. Like, she still talks about how things were hard for her as, you know, a black girl on the show, how it would be hard even just in the hair and makeup chair. Like, I know you guys saw that video of her where she was expressing to the makeup artist how happy and comfortable she felt, like that she had another black woman doing her hair, doing her makeup. Like, she still, you know, talks about those type of things that are still relevant today in the industry. And that's why Kat is never gonna lose. Like, look at Miss Julie Plec. She is Miss Julie Plec. That's why you in the barely surviving category. Like, I don't see, do y'all see Julie Plec doing anything in the industry right now? I saw somewhere she said that she was gonna plan on, you know, stepping away from the TVD franchise, you know, after following the Legacies cancellation. But child, nobody's talking about it. It's cricket. But yeah, guys, Kat, she's definitely thriving, and I'm just so glad to see her still doing well after the show, especially after everything she's been through. All right, guys, so that was the Vampire Diaries cast. Where are they now? Let me know the next cast you guys want to see next. Again, I will also do a poll on next Monday, where you guys can vote on the most anticipated cast up next. And also just leave in the comments any other show you guys want me to do this for. I love doing this series, especially like my Dance Moms one from last week. A lot of people liked that video, so I just decided to turn it into a series. So definitely let me know in the comments what cast you guys want me to do this for, because there's a lot of people, you know, a lot of casts that we loved back then that aren't doing much these days. But yeah, guys, let's just say the people that, you know, are thriving right now deserve to be, and the ones that are sinking, karma. Anyways, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Again, don't forget to leave down below the next cast you want, and also check out my other commentary playlist. I'll leave those links down in the description. Again, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon in the next video.